All right, let's tackle a question that probably hits a little too close to home for, well, just about everyone. Why is it so incredibly hard to just focus? I mean, you know the feeling, right? You're finally in the zone, hammering out a work report, and then, boom, out of nowhere, your mind just wanders off to what's for dinner tonight. Or maybe you're stressing about that one email you forgot to reply to. If that sounds familiar, yeah, you are definitely not alone. And get this, there's actually hard data on this. A University of California study found that on average, we can only focus on one thing for, wait for it, 12 minutes. Just 12 minutes. That's it, before something interrupts us and throws us completely off track.
And if you thought 12 minutes was bad, hold on. After we get interrupted, it takes us on average a whopping 25 minutes to get back into that state of deep focus. Think about that. The cost of one tiny interruption isn't a few seconds. It's almost half an hour gone.
So here's the most important thing to hear right now. This is not some personal failure. It's not about you lacking willpower. It's a mix of how our brains are literally wired and, let's be honest, the crazy distracting world we live in. So let's really break down what's going on, starting with the cause that's closest to home, our own brains. All right, first up, our brain's design. See, the number one reason we get so distracted is because, in a weird way, we're kind of built for it. This goes way beyond our modern habits. It all starts with our basic biology. Think about it. Our brains evolved to be these incredible information-gathering machines. They are constantly, and I mean constantly, scanning our surroundings for anything new or different. For our ancestors, this was a massive survival advantage, right? But today, that same superpower has become a bit of a weakness when we're trying to do deep, focused work. Okay, this is a huge misconception. We tend to think of focus as this, this steady, continuous laser beam. But neurology research shows it's not like that at all. In reality, our concentration happens in these quick, short bursts. And in between those bursts, our brain takes a teeny tiny break to scan the environment and basically ask, hey, is there anything more important out there I should be looking at right now? And there it is, the evolutionary double-edged sword. That same instinct that helped our ancestors notice a predator rustling in the bushes is the exact same reason we find it almost impossible to ignore that little ding from our phone. It's a feature, not a bug, but man, it has some serious side effects for modern life.
Okay, so that's our internal wiring. Now let's talk about the external world. Because number two is that we live in a world of noise, an environment that is literally designed to fight for every last scrap of our attention. I mean, just look at that number, 84.4%. That's how many people say they get distracted at work. This isn't some minor issue affecting a few people. It is a nearly universal challenge we're all facing.
So what's doing the distracting? Well, here are the top culprits. No surprise at the top, phone calls and texts, derailing a massive 55% of us. Right behind that is the internet itself at 41%. And yeah, even our coworkers, bless their hearts, are a source of distraction for more than a quarter of us. It's not just a little background noise. It's a full-on thunderstorm of interruptions. And this quote really gets to the core of why this happens. Our brain's reaction time is faster for these automatic things, like a notification, and slower for the stuff we're choosing to focus on. So that little ding from your phone literally gets a neurological head start in the race for your attention. It's not a fair fight. Okay, so we've got our brain's ancient design, and we've got the nonstop noise of the modern world. But there's a third major cause for our distraction, and this one's all about what's going on inside our own heads, even when we're in a perfectly quiet room. This one from a Harvard study is just staggering to me. It found that for almost half of our waking hours, 47% of the time, our minds are just wandering. We're not actually present and thinking about the thing we're supposed to be doing. So what does that actually look like in real life? Well, it's exactly this. You're supposed to be writing that report, but your brain is busy planning dinner. You're sitting in a meeting, trying to listen, but you're mentally going through your inbox. The takeaway here is that even when we think we're focused, a huge chunk of the time our brain is off on its own little side quest. But here's that important reframe again. This isn't a flaw, it's actually a built-in protective feature. Our brains are designed to seek out breaks and new things to prevent us from getting totally exhausted or bored from focusing on just one thing for too long. All right, that brings us to our fourth and final cause. And this one connects distraction to a fundamental skill that,
honestly, most of us were never taught.
And I'm serious. Think about this for a second. When was the last time you actually took a class on time management? For almost all of us, the answer is never, right? It's this absolutely critical skill for being able to focus, but we're pretty much left to figure it out on our own through a lot of messy and inefficient trial and error.
And what's the result of that? Well, without a clear plan, it's so easy to get sidetracked by tasks that are way less important. We start hopping between different things without ever actually finishing them, which just shatters our attention. And then there's the big one, procrastination, the ultimate focus killer that pulls us away from our work.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got our brain's ancient wiring, we've got a super noisy world, our minds that love to wander, and this big time management skill gap. So, where does that leave us? What do we do about it? Let's talk about the first step to actually getting focused.
And this is maybe the biggest takeaway of all. The goal isn't to somehow eliminate all distractions. That's impossible, and it'll just make you frustrated. The real goal, the one you can actually achieve, is learning how to manage them.
And here's the good news. Just by sticking with me through this explainer, you've already knocked out the first two critical steps. First, you've acknowledged there's a problem, and second, you're starting to understand the triggers. The only thing left is to develop strategies to manage them, strategies that work with your brain, not against it.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. Knowing why you get distracted is incredibly powerful. It changes the whole game from feeling like it's some personal failing to seeing it as a problem you can actually solve. So now that you know, what's one thing you're going to manage differently starting today?